Hello everyone! Today on stream we checked out the Arcantina again on the Midnight Alpha, and a lot of feedback has been given for these quest lines, one in particular. Happy to report that the feedback has been picked up on and the quest line has been changed. In my mind, in a much more positive way, like change for the better, but I'll let you decide as we play through the quest line. Here's the video, here's the highlights. Hope you'll enjoy. Does power change everyone? Will it change me? Perhaps our friends can find the answers and ease your mind. Gorgona is the one who took over leadership of the Warsong clan after Garrosh. So Garrosh did his whole war chief thing, went to go and make the Iron Horde, and we took him out. And Gorgona has taken over the Warsong clan on our end of the world. Okay, we go to Outland the Grand. Perfect. Time travel issue has been changed. So this is the spot where Thrall found Garrosh way back when. And for those that might not know back in the time. So does me being out of breath, does it add to the experience or does it take away from it? Either way. We gotta keep in mind, this Burning Crusade area. So, for the longest time, we did not know what happened to Draenor now Outlands. And with the Burning Crusade, the Dark Portal reopened. We were able to go in. And we were able to reconnect to our lost heroes. And we were able to see, like, okay, what happened to the orcs that stayed behind? Orcs like a Garrosh Hellscream, who was, I think it was Kargov, who showed up in the Grand and like, come fight with us. But at the time, Garrosh had red pox, so he was unable to fight. And then the Dark Portal was closed, and he did not know what happened to his father. All Garrosh knew at that point in time was the part of the storyline of Gromash, where Gromash was the first to step up and embrace the demon blood. Bloodthirsty, corruption, look at what happened to our planet, look what happened to our people. Garrosh was living under the shadow of his father. And so Thrall shows up, and he's like, Garrosh, you're not wrong. Your father was a bit of a muppet, but let me show you. So he shows him the vision of Thrall and Gromash taking on Manoroth back in Warcraft 3. And basically, Gromash giving his life in order to save their people, in order to let go of the blood curse. And so now Garrosh had both sides of the story. And he joined Thrall into Azeroth, where with Wrath the Lich King, he like led the campaign into Northrend, where we see this really sick dialogue with Saurfang in the Keep, where Saurfang asks him like, how would you do so-and-so? And Garrosh is like, Garrosh, smash! And Saurfang is like, Garrosh, if you ever start smashing like your father did, if you ever start to lead the Horde down a dark path like he did, I'll end you myself. I'll end you myself. And then Garrosh asks him, like, how do you sleep at night? Because they were talking about the days of the corrupted Horde. And he is like, I no longer eat pork because the pig squealing reminds him of the Draenei children as they were slaying them. Sick storytelling, honestly. So then after Wrath, and Garrosh is brought back in as a hero amongst the Horde, he is given Gorhal. And eventually Thrall is called to become like the world shaman eventually, to become the hero. So Thrall steps down as war chief. But who do we make the war chief in turn? And as much as I would say, why not a Vol'jin, why not a Cairn? For the story, he decided Garrosh. Because Garrosh at the time was like a hero amongst his people. And Thrall saw the best in him. Thrall saw the best in him that he also saw in Gromash. Because Gromash was his brother, was his friend. Even though a Cairn was like, Thrall, don't do this. There's potential in Garrosh. But if you go too quick, if you go too fast, it won't end well. And Thrall was like, lol, gotta go, Cairn, have fun. Even Garrosh told Thrall, I am not the guy. Don't make me war chief. And Thrall was like, I got to go. I gotta make a family now. I gotta save the world. You'll deal with it. You'll have advisors around you. Don't worry about it, Garrosh. I have faith in you, my boy. And obviously, Garrosh started to quickly butt heads with all the other leaders that were supposed to guide him and advise him. Because he is Garrosh Hellscream. What else did you expect? But during the Cataclysm, we had some of the more beautiful dialogue in the direction of Krumkar dropped a bomb on like an alliance settlement. Xe'ra showed up and he repeats the lessons that he had learned from Saurfang in Northrend. Honor Krumkar. No matter how dire the battle, never forsake it. And then he throws Krumkar off the cliff and is like, this is my horde now. This is how we do things. And people cheered. People were like, okay, he's not a Thrall, but he's definitely a war chief. And there was so much potential. So much potential. We didn't need another Thrall, but maybe someone that could move like a little bit closer to where Thrall was, you know? But instead, we got the opposite. Up to the point where back in the day, I made a speculation video wondering of this new ally that showed up to support Garrosh, which was called Melkorok. Wondering, is Melkorok actually Kil'jaeden in disguise? Is he whispering and corrupting and manipulating Garrosh? But nobody was whispering or manipulating Garrosh. Garrosh made his own choices. And Garrosh decided, despite earlier saying, honor no matter how dire the battle, Garrosh decided to nuke Theramore. And it's not the argument as to was Theramore a legit target or not. It's the methods used. It's Bane looking upon Theramore burning with tears in his eyes. Because at this point, Bane had taken over because there was this whole duel between Cairn and Garrosh Mak'gora. And the old bull would have actually taken out Garrosh. Was it not for Morgotha's betrayal, but that's a whole different story. So eventually, the path that Garrosh was on led to him becoming the end boss of Mr. Pandaria with the Siege of Orgrimmar. We placed him on trial. And the Celestials told us their verdict. They told us that if Garrosh would not have been set free from jail by Kairos and Rephion, then their punishment would have been imprisonment. Because where there is life, there is the possibility of change, whereas death is the end of it. Similar, like very comparable to a Sylvanas who also was placed on trial and convicted. But the difference is that Sylvanas owned up to her crimes and started to pay for it. Garrosh was set free in order to make the so-called Iron Horde, which he did. He tried to invade Azeroth again, no longer being able to hide behind the idea of I'm doing this for the Horde. At that point, he just did it for his own ego. He has his father, Alternate Gromash, so not really his father, but Alternate Gromash. And he needs to convince him to join him on this plan for the Iron Horde. So he shows him visions of his reality. And instead of showing the entire story, he only shows him part of it. So he knew full well that what he was trying to sell was not going to sit well with our boy Gromash. But he did. And so Thrall showed up to finally take care of his mistakes. Despite Jaina asking it after the bombing of Theramore, despite the whole duel with Cairn, Thrall had already shown up with like the Darkspear Rebellion back in Mr. Pandaria. And now he showed up on Alternate Draenor in order to challenge Garrosh to a duel and end his life. And this was together with the Warcraft movie. I was gonna use the fancy word this coalesced. Either way, this was together at the time that the Warcraft movie was playing in the theaters. And in the Warcraft movie, they made a big deal about Gul'dan cheating during the Mak'gora. And so people took that with Thrall using the elemental powers that he was cheating as well. I personally never believed that, but there was quite a debate for many, many years. Up to Chronicles Volume 4, where they've actually outright stated Thrall did not cheat. Just flat out in that mismatched of a horrific book full of wrong information, Thrall did not cheat. It's like, oh, okay. I guess you're aware of the debate, huh? So yeah, Garrosh was slain, defeated, sent over to the Shadowlands, where he had to pay for his crimes in Revendreth. So from Warlords of Draenor all the way to Shadowlands, he's been tortured in Revendreth, which personally I think is, enough punishment. But hey, you'll have your own idea behind that. And then in, was it the Sepulchre? In one of the raids, we fight somebody who is actually torturing him. And Garrosh is able to set free. And in one of the highlights of the entire expansion of the Shadowlands, he gets like one short cutscene where people were actually just going ham over it. And he goes out the way that he came in. Sanctum of Domination, thank you. He goes out the way he goes in. He's like, I'm Garrosh Hellscream. They told me that I should repent for my sins. I will not bow down to Thrall. I will not bow down to any of you. I did it for the Horde, blah, blah, blah. And he just goes out in a pile of dust. And I'm guessing that he just sent himself to the real Shadowlands, but I don't know. But that is the end of our Garrosh. Now, for those who are coming in, we're doing a revamped storyline of the Arcantina, which I'm very happy to hear that they actually taken the feedback and adjusted it. And Gorgona does not know the story of Garrosh. So now we're asked, like, can you go and check out what Garrosh was like? We are now on Outlands. We're no longer alternate Draenor, so we're not breaking the timeline. We're actually on Draenor. Oh, sorry, we're actually on Outlands. And we're gonna find out. Hello, what do we need to do? Weather Tome acquired. Speak with Great Mother Geisha. Weather Tome acquired. Weather Tome. There might be somewhere to display this in the Arcantina. Oh, right. For the furniture options. Gotcha.
Loktar!
Loktar! Hello, young one. How did Vrall meet Garrosh Hellscream? When my grandson arrived in Xal'atath, it was to a Hellscream who was ashamed of his family name. All Garrosh knew was that his father, Gromash, was responsible for the demon blood that corrupted our people. But my grandson knew Garrosh's father well. He witnessed Gromash sacrifice his own life to lift the blood curse from the orcs. Goel, Vrall as you call him, showed Garrosh's vision of his father's heroic sacrifice. In doing so, he gifted Garrosh the pride that he had lost, and showed him the name Hellscream was not only worthy, but revered by all.
Strength. Greetings.
Did power make Garrosh Hellscream strong? A friend is worried power will change her.
Go with honor.
Garrosh did not always have his power, or his strength. Speak to Osrak. He knows more of young Hellscream. Alright. Osrak, will thou tell me more about Gary?
What are you looking for?
It will take a sharp blade, reinforced armor. Hello. Geisha says you could tell me of Garrosh's early years. How did he gain his strength?
For the Horde.
I cannot afford to stop and talk. Help me, Hammer, and I will speak of young Hellscream. The red pox that plagued us hit Garrosh harder than most. It shriveled his muscles, weakened his bones. Yet, he came to me determined to train and become strong. He failed again and again, but every day he returned. His body was not strong at first, but his will was stronger than any I have seen. His training axe is buried deep in a training dummy to the west. Some say they still hear him practice, though he is long gone. So, sorry, I should have hammered this while you were talking, but you never know, right? Okay. Practice axe, right. I'm sweaty, by the way, because I did the treadmill a moment ago. And I've got it elevated now, so... yeah. Alright. Forgotten practice equipment. Collecting. Oh! My strength need no axe. Damn, okay. Hey, don't stun me, how dare you. Your strength is worthy of my respect. Okay. Great Mother. Hello. Despite his weakness, he grew strong. Despite his shame, he found pride. Do you see? Power did not change him. The wolf merely grew from pup to predator. I wish his path had ended differently. That I had done more.
What can I do for you?
So why did Vrall choose Garrosh for war chief? Now, that is a good question. I cannot speak for my grandson, but I do know that he was very close friends with Garrosh's father. Perhaps he thought that his horde needed a single leader, that the wolf could be guided and trained to listen and speak for all. Tell your friend, strength and confidence must be tempered with wisdom. If she's asking if power will change her, that wisdom is already there. Hello? So, here's the weather tome. Enjoy. Uh-huh. A collection of Farseer tales, weathered and worn but rarely used. It seems the Farseers have already memorized the stories within, leaving the book for those who are not familiar with Orcish legends. You've returned. What did you discover about Hellscream? I would know who the previous leader of the war song really was. The head is barely hanging onto his training weapon. The hilt splintered and worn. It has seen extensive use.
Go with honor. Go forth to victory.
Hellscream had no strength, so he built it. He had no pride until it was given to him. Yet, he was this way, strong-willed and resilient, all along. Then perhaps the power does not change a person. It simply reveals who they really are deep within. This great Mother Geisha is wise. I should visit her someday.
You have lived through each war chief in turn, as I have.
And past it. The age of the war chief is over, it seems.
Does this please you?
In some ways. Thrall was a good leader. Cairn Bloodhoof believed in his vision for the Horde.
But the war chief who came after Thrall... I still mourn the day he struck down Cairn.
As do I. Garrosh Hellscream was... well... I know you share my opinion of him.
Vol'jin's rule was far better received. He was wise, clever, strong.
But short-lived. As for who came after...
Let us speak of more pleasant things.
such as the strength of the war song under your lead.
The war song were always strong. I only reminded them of it.
You restored the honor Hellscreen took from them. That is worth recognition and celebration. Let us drink to that.
Lokta.
The Horde lives on, sometimes in spite of his leadership. I do what I must for the Warsong clan.
Greetings.
I mean, I know what they mean with the Age of Warchief is over, but isn't Gorgona classified as Warchief? Hang on. Gorgona, wow. Gorgona is the current chieftain of the Warsong clan. Yeah, okay. So, opinion. Like, for me, this alpha goes betas in a couple of days. So, for me, this is miles better than what it was before. And it is because it recognizes both sides of the story when it comes to Garrosh. What I really, really like is that we did an introduction to the story of Garrosh before diving into this questline. And in essence, the questline itself repeats what I just told you. How did Thrall pick him as war chief? How was Garrosh before learning about his father, after learning about his father? I really like that this one actually dives into both sides of Garrosh. I really like how it's no longer about Gammon shaking in his boots when it comes to, oh my god, did Garrosh die or not? I like how it's no longer the Warsong clan defiling Garrosh's grave. Instead, it's Gorgona wondering to herself, like, okay, the ones who came before me didn't exactly do a great job. How does that reflect on me? Was it the power that changed them? So the motivation is a lot better. And of course, the whole technicality of things. You no longer go to Alternate Draenor, so that timeline trouble is fixed. You just go to Outland. For me, this is night and day, which is wild. I wonder what happened in production. I really like that. Yeah, I really like this. I love that actually listening to feedback as well. Like ultimately, we've had discussions on Discord about this as well, where people just really like being able to spit on Garrosh because they don't like Garrosh. I mean, fair enough. But for me, I think that there's more to it than just I don't like spitting on Garrosh, right? I didn't like the implications of what it meant for the Warsong clan. I didn't like the implications of what it meant for someone like Gammon and Gorgona as well. I didn't like the problems that it created with like time travel and alternate realities. So yeah, massive upgrade. And especially nice to see that they are picking up feedback in that way.